The winter weather alert map that we have, if you remember closer to Groundhog's Day at the beginning of the month, this map was just full. Now we have more of a narrow corridor. It's because as far as the cold air is concerned, it's just not as deep and not as strong, but still the threat's there. From Woodward, Oklahoma, through Springfield, Illinois, into Detroit, Michigan, winter storm watches. We already have warnings posted close to Chicago, and then winter weather advisories. These will kick in later this evening. So here's what we're expecting. Maybe some rain out ahead. So as far as pre-treatment goes, we don't like to see that. We'll see the rain transition, though, pretty quickly to that wintry weather as we head into the overnight hours on Thursday. Of course, normally when we look at a day, the coolest part of the day is in the morning, and with cold air advecting to the south, we're going to see that transition occur in Kansas City. Expect accumulations in Kansas City and points south, Joplin, Springfield, Missouri. We'll see that rain to freezing rain, sleet, that wintry mix. That transition will occur throughout the day. This is on Thursday, so around this time tomorrow, we could be dealing from Oklahoma City to Quincy, snow. Along the I-44 corridor, Joplin to St. Louis, that wintry mix. And then look at that rain. Could be pretty heavy. Kiana's going to be talking about the threat for that heavy rain. Some of these counties dealing with flood watches and winter storm watches. Louisville, this is Thursday afternoon. Don't be surprised if maybe a few rumbles of thunder as this rain moves on through, and that rain will be heavy and continue to be heavy into Ohio and West Virginia, even as this pushes into the Northeast, which we'll talk more about in a bit. Keep in mind some spots in Illinois, Indiana, northwestern Ohio, and yes, Michigan, close to Detroit, where maybe we've seen that wintry mix as that cold air filters in. We should see that transition to all snow occur.
I'm Amy Freeze. Welcome to Fox Weather's YouTube page. We have more great videos on the way, so make sure to subscribe to stay updated on all things weather.